I have been given probably the coolest opportunity that I've ever received as a knitwear designer, and I want to share it with you. Hey guys, if you're unfamiliar with me, I am Katie, the Katie behind Katie DeGroff Knits, the Katie Knits podcast, and all of the lovely videos you see here on my channel. Please take a moment to consider subscribing and check back when I post a new video. Now, back to the reason for this video. I have been given such a cool opportunity. It just blew me away. So fun. I was offered a test skein of Miss Babs Yarn's latest base that they're adding to their collection, which is called Billow. And of course, I jumped at the chance, who wouldn't, to add to the excitement. I didn't pick my color. I told Helen, I'm like, I have a great idea already, but I don't want something too light and I don't want something too dark. Surprise me. And she did. Oh my goodness. So, do you want to see? This is Billow, Miss Babs' latest base. They sent me Stonewashed, which is just this beautiful blue. It's so gorgeous. Now let's talk about the yarn for a minute. This thing of beauty, 51% baby alpaca and 49% Pima cotton. So there is a delightful Pima cotton core with the baby alpaca fluffed on the outside. Billow. They're saying it is a worsted weight yarn. I could definitely see with the cotton tube that it could potentially be worked up as a DK too. It's on the fence, but I would tend to go a little more worsted because of the solid cotton tube. That's just my initial thoughts. 320 yards or 290 meters for approximately 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. Their gauge is 4 to 5 stitches per inch on US 7 to 9 needles. My initial thoughts are this cotton core does not seem to take the dye as solid, which means that the alpaca that's on top is going to primarily take the dye. From my initial observations, I think that is going to create almost an instantaneous marled effect and add a whole other dimension to your project without ever having to do the work of adding it yourself. It is incredibly light. My thought on knitting with cotton is that it's heavy. Everything I've ever knit with cotton, and I haven't knit a ton because I'm not in love with it, cotton to me is very heavy and very cumbersome. And this is literally light as a feather. I just see this in, no pun intended, but billowy garments. Just big accessories, comfy, cozy. You want to add that style and pop and dimension without having to hold two yarns together. I think this is going to be a winner. I am surprised, just running my fingers around the yarn, that it's not very sticky. I tend to find alpaca rather sticky of a yarn as opposed to like sticking to itself to work with. So those are my initial thoughts. I will update you as I work and actually get it on my needles, but for right now, I am loving this. It is so pretty. I'm going to vlog my entire process with this yarn. I love it so far. It is so out of my wheelhouse and my comfort zone that I cannot wait to use it. I am going to take you through my journey of using Miss Babs' latest base, Billow. What we're gonna do is first, I have already shown you the yarn, given you my initial thoughts. I'm gonna wind it up, see how it winds. Then I will take you on my knitting journey with it. check-in time. I have just wound Billow up. I'm gonna give you my initial thoughts after just winding. Normally when I wind an alpaca, which, fun fact, the last yarn I actually wound was a Surrey alpaca lace on my Swift, and it was green, and a little tufty of the green fluff came off of my Swift when I opened it. Anyway, I'm used to having quite a bit of shed from an alpaca, and more of a hairy shed where it almost looks like one of my Shelties tumbleweeds on the ground, but it's colored, so it's definitely not theirs. I hardly got any shed off of this. I literally have the most minute bit of shed that came off of this entire skein. Initial thoughts are, it was a dream to wind. It was not sticky or tangly at all, and extremely minimal shed. So far, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I am back with a Billow update. So I was able to get Billow on my needles, and it has absolutely lived up to everything I thought it would be and more. Honestly, when I first got this in the mail and felt it, I was undecided of whether this would make a good garment or not. And it totally would. As soon as I got just a little bit done, enough that I could stick my hand in it and really feel the fabric and the texture and the weight of the fabric and just everything about it, I was like, this would be really, really neat. This did take me a little bit longer than it probably normally would have, because every few rows I was too busy playing. And I did manhandle this quite a bit. I wanted to really give it a good run through as I was working it up, so that I could give you the best review I possibly could. So I do have to say that with the fluff, I am shocked. I have absolutely zero pilling. I have absolutely zero wear or tear. And I'm kind of abusing this to an extent. But let me abuse it so you don't have to, and you know what you're getting. This is a continuous simple stitch pattern that I came up with. And I worked until I had just enough yardage left to seam it up, and that's it. I didn't have enough left to work another repeat. I wanted to really use up everything I possibly could. And this is a cowl knit in a big tube, so it's essentially a double layer. Worked up on US size 6 4mm needles. I was able to get approximately 25 inches in length, which seamed together and blocked will make a perfect squishy cowl. I think one skein is absolutely perfect for a good cowl. And keep in mind, I did knit mine in a giant tube, so you could very easily knit it flat and make it much larger, and then make it like an infinity cowl and wrap it several times. I didn't want to go for that look with this design, so I knit the tube. I'm gonna twist it once, seam it up, get it blocked. I am anticipating that it's not going to grow too terribly much in blocking, Because of the alpaca and the cotton, I don't think it's really going to. We will see, but it was a pleasure to knit with. Alpaca of any kind, I don't care what it is sticky to some degree, which was very nice considering I mainly use superwash yarns, which if you're unraveling from a cake, you know very well, or if your cake decides to run away from you across the room, that it's going to unravel and it's not going to stop because there's no friction there. With the alpaca, it gives you enough friction so it doesn't just puke and unroll, which is fantastic in my book. It's definitely a nice little contrast to what I've been working with. Was just sticky enough, but not too sticky. I did rip out several rows. In the beginning, I ripped just to see what it would be like. And it's ever so slightly sticky, like any alpaca is, but the yarn was left in perfect condition and everything worked out great. So I have my first project done. So I am left with this super squishy, nice, billowy, no pun intended, I just keep going back to that word. And it just happens to be the base name, but texture that the fabric creates. I chose a simpler stitch pattern. So I wasn't exactly sure how this texture of yarn would knit up, so I didn't want to choose anything that was crazy. I really wanted to, you can see it from afar. It is a beautiful waffly texture. That is so squishy, oh my goodness. So this is going to be twisted once, seamed together in a cowl, and it's just awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the perfect size to get one either double knit cowl out of. This is a tube, so it's like double layered, or you could knit flat and just knit it a heck of a lot longer, and you could do an infinity cowl. That is out of one skein. If you wanted to just do a single, and my initial thoughts on, I wasn't sure what kind of garment this would make. When I initially squished it, I was not sure. I was completely undecided. But as soon as I got enough done, I've been manhandling it and squishing it. And when I go to Rhinebeck here in a few weeks, I'm going to be picking up a sweater quantity or two because I definitely need a garment in this. It is fun and it feels like it's going to be an absolute workhorse of a yarn. So I will absolutely be picking more of this up. Now, something I did want to bring up. Personally, me, when I knit a project or when I'm looking for the perfect yarn for a project, money is not an object, because if I can't afford it at the time, I will save up if this is what that project needs. So typically, if you were to hold a surrey alpaca lace with a DK, you'll get a worsted weight, but you're holding two yarns together to get a certain fabric texture, which is the same exact texture that you get from just holding one strand of billow. So that is good point number one, we will call it. You don't have to hold two yarns to get a texture and a fabric quality, just one. The second, I would say, is price point. Billow retails for $38 a skein, and for that same yardage and this same texture, you would have to hold a surrey alpaca lace with a DK, and that would run you upwards of $50 to $60 a skein. So there is some additional monetary value in this yarn as well. Instead of holding two yarns, you don't have to go through the headache of holding two. And it's, you know, a little bit easier on the wallet. My knitting thoughts on Billow is it's amazing. I can't wait to knit a garment in it. It is excellent value for the texture and the yardage that you get. Definitely gives the impression that this is going to be a workhorse of a yarn. So yeah, I absolutely adore it and will be buying more. Absolutely. I feel bad for those of you who are allergic to alpaca because this is a good one. All I have left to do, like I said, is to either seam and block or block and seam. Not exactly sure which direction I'm going to be going in. But as you can see, one skein makes an excellent sized cowl. And this is knit in a tube, so it's double, essentially. And if you're wondering what this pattern is, it is my Pillow Pop Cowl, which by the time you're seeing this video is out in the wild on Ravelry and Etsy. So you can go pick that up, and it's on a major discount this first weekend that it is going to be out. Everything will be linked down below. And it also comes in a 2-color version, which I used some other Miss Babs for. Now, I will leave you with this. I eternally gratefully thank all of the lovely ladies at Miss Babs for giving me the opportunity to design with Billow ahead of its official release. And I am sold 100%. The texture, the fabric it makes, the way it takes color, I'm beyond sold. Definitely go check out Miss Babs Yarn's newest base, Billow, which is on their website now. And also go check out my Pillow Pop Cowl, which is out now on Ravelry and Etsy. Drop me a comment down below. What would you knit in Billow? Are we thinking accessory? Are we thinking hat? Are we thinking cowl, scarf, mitts, sweater, cardigan? What are we thinking? What would you like to make out of this beautiful alpaca and cotton blend? Also, be sure to run over to Miss Babs and pick up some Billow for yourself. I hope everybody enjoys knitting it and working with it as much as I did, because this is pretty awesome. It's really amazing. So, will definitely be a staple in my stash and in my wardrobe. Happy knitting, everybody.